Testing, testing. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Hope everyone is well today, inshallah. We're going to be starting, inshallah, the seventh lesson. We only have a few people on, but inshallah, I think the rest of them will join eventually. So we'll start with what we have, and then inshallah, whoever comes on, we'll find a way of joining them to the session. It won't be so hard, inshallah, because most of our sessions now. So let me start, right? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidul Mursaleen Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So my dear respected students, today inshallah we're going to be doing the topic of Shaddah. Shaddah. Shaddah again is one of those, you can call it a vowel or you can call it a diacritical mark. One of the little marks that you put in the Quran and you put it in the Arabic language to give a sound, a special sound. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, inshallah. It's a really simple, inshallah, topic, and like all of the topics I will be doing for the rest of this class, it's just a matter of understanding a concept and then applying it. The real effort comes now from the application part of it, not too much for the understanding, because the understanding of it will be really simple, inshallah, and it will be something easy for you all to grasp. So let's get at it, inshallah. Here we have today's objective is to recognize the Shaddah as a joining mark and to apply its pronunciation on letters. So Shaddah itself is, you remember, I don't know if you all recall properly, but when we were doing Tanween was a double letter where there was a noon sakin that was joined to it. So, for example, if it had a ba Tanween fatha, that means ban. Ba with a fatha, and then the end of it, it will have a noon sukun, so ban. So it was actually two letters together, but it is pronounced as I mean, it looks like one letter, and it's written with two fathas, two kasras, or two dhammas. So it's like a an in un sound, but you can clearly see the noon sound coming there, and that noon sound is really important. That's why I taught you like that, because later on when you're practicing on the reciting part of it, you need to know that it's a noon and there is a sukun. Anyway, that was in the Tanween, and if you need a refresher, go back to that lesson, inshallah. There's the YouTube clips as well of these classes, so you can always look back at it. Today, inshallah, we're doing Shaddah, and Shaddah is also a double letter, but this double letter maintains the same exact vowel of the letter that you're actually doing. So for example, if there's ba fatha and you put a shadda on it, that means it's two bars with the same letter but a sukoon and a vowel. So let's look at it how that looks, right? Inshallah, you'll see how that is formed. When you look at it, you'll see how easy it is, inshallah. The shadda is a diacritical mark written above a letter to show that the letter has been doubled and therefore increases in emphasis. And this is really important because you do pronounce it a little bit more harder or with a little bit more emphasis, inshallah. The means of that means that the shadda allows a this means that the shadda allows a letter both to be joined to and to be pronounced with its own vowel. Shadda is written as a symbol resembling a three ways 3. Okay, I don't know why we described it like that, right? I mean, when we were doing this book, it's been a long while. So sometimes when I looked at these explanations, be like resembling a sideways 3, resembling a sideways 3. Okay, I'd rather call it a W, like a small W, but it does actually look like a 3, and you'll see how that looks now. Another way to describe the shadda is the combination of a sukoon and another vowel, short, tanween, short or tanween or long, whatever it is. However, emphasis should be made by not separating the sound of the sukoon and the vowel and pronouncing them together. Try your best to join the sounds and the letters at this stage and pay attention to the sound of the letter which has the shadda on it. Note in some texts, the kasra is written below the shadda rather than below the letter. Anyway, bottom line is, let's look at the practical thing about it. We know there's something called shadda. It looks like a W, and I would say it's a W. So I feel a W seems like a better way of explaining it. If you notice it here, it looks like a little W there, or you can call it a 3. Who rather calls it the 3, call it 3. Who rather call it a W, call it a W. Bottom line is, it's there right under the vowel. If you're seeing it there, you see the dhamma there, and below that is the shadda. So how do you pronounce this now? So it's pronounced with a sukoon and the actual vowel that you're seeing. So you see in and then na. So in na. So in na. So that's where the emphasis comes out, because now you're putting a sukoon on and also you're putting the actual vowel. So in na. Then rob b. Rob b. So you see it here, rob, because if it was a sukoon, you would have say rob and then b. So rob b. So that's why you have a double kind of pronunciation of the letters, because it's actually 2 letters. And then I, U. So it's the first letter and second letter. So a shadda letter is actually 2 letters. First one being a sukoon, and the second one being a vowel, the actual vowel that you're seeing on it. So sometimes that comes with tanween, as we said just now. It sometimes comes with kasra, fatha, dhamma, tanween, fatha, tanween, kasra, tanween, dhamma, and all these things. So any questions on that? Feel free to ask by the time we go to some practice. Any questions? And okay, so whilst questions coming in or not sure if any come in. I don't think anyone came in. No chats, nothing. Okay. So whilst we're gonna do that, I will take you on a little bit on the Quran as well eventually. So I'll show you how that looks in the Quran. For now, let's just go through a bit of practice with this 7.1 lesson here. So if you all could say with me, ab, ba. Now I'm just breaking it out a bit so you can understand how that sounds as a sukoon and a letter separately, right? So ab, ba. So abba. Ibbi. Ibbi. Ubba. Sorry, ubbu. Ubbu. You see, so we're taking these slants because e, u, but you're taking it to the other letter that we actually joining on to the sukoon letter, right? So atta, atta, itti, itti, uttu, uttu, atha, atha, ithi, ithi, uthu, uthu. So I'm sure everyone's getting it now, inshallah. I don't think it's too hard to grasp. Let's have someone from online practice a little bit. Let's try number 55. Who can go? Who's gonna give it a try there? You could break it up a little bit if you want. Go on, Sister Narissa. Just 1 second. My sound. 1 minute. All right, sorry, you can go again. All right. Sorry, you can go one more time for these 55, 56, 57. And okay, just unmuted you. Have like about 5 devices here sometimes hooked up. So I have double screens, I have my computer, I have OBS running, and I have Zoom. So I have to make sure which speaker is on sometimes. Okay, sorry about that. Can you go again? 55. I'm listening. And okay, can someone else just talk to me? All right, just hold on a minute. I'm having a sound. It's probably on the wrong sound. Okay, we try one more time. Sorry. Okay. Can we practice with 61 here? Very good. Next one. 62. Hmm. All right. Very good. 63. Oh, cool. Right. And so one thing that you maintain is make sure that you hold on to it a bit and then you release so that emphasis sound is actually heard. So like for example, Allah, Ali, Ullu. Right. So Amma, Immi, Ummu. So you see going up a bit without holding a bit and then dropping it. So the sound of the shadda is distinct. And that's really important because when you go on to some words and so on, you need to make sure it's sounding like that. So let's go on to the actual words a bit. These are words again. And inshallah, you'll, let's practice it. I'll talk about some of these words. So let's say this together. Amma. Now for this meme, you don't lengthen it, okay? So you're not gonna say amma because it's a what? It's a short vowel though, right? So amma, hunna, hunna. Now if this did not have the shadda on it, all right, what would you say? Huna. Right? No stretching as that. You would just say huna. Now these are actually 3 letters. All of you seeing 2. What are the 3 letters? Can someone help me out here? Let's call on people. Sister Sedima. What would be the 3 letters in this word? And can you say the vowel on them? Or brother Irfan? Alright, very good. So ha noon noon because the first noon will be a sukun and the last noon would be a noon fatha. So hunna, Next one, number 3. Let's call someone Sharon.
Madda.
Very good, Madda. Next one, Razia. Number 4.
Qalla.
Qalla, very good. Narissa, number 5. Again. Okay, we're not hearing you. Okay, go on. Ayyi, very good. Who's here? Brother Irfan, number 6. Mimma, very good. All right, this is a nice one. Look, this has a tanween. Let's ask someone else. Pavi, you there? Number 7, sorry. If not, Qadir.
Ayya.
No, number 7.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Go on.
Is it haqqa?
Haqqun, right? The qaf would be tanween. Haqqud, right? So tanween dhamma and with the tanween dhamma, it has a shadda. So haq and then kun. So remember, it's tanween dhamma, so kun sound. So kaf tanween dhamma kun. So haqqun, say it. Next one, dhalla. Next one, kullu. Next one, dhillin. Very good. Let's try this one. Qadir, Razak, or Aliyah. Whoever comes first. Number 11. Let's. Assalam. Sommun, right? Remember this sword is a bit rounded, right? Sommun. Then thumma. Thumma. Alright, so let's go to a little bit longer ones, and these words are where the practice comes about. If you're practicing everything else, then this is just an addition, but the rest of the wording would be somewhat easy for you all to pronounce. So let's go to 21 here. Who wants to attempt that? 21. You have double shadda there. Okay, let's take one at a time now. Sharon, or was it you?
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, very good. Fa'asaddaqa, right? Fa'as. All right, because now you have to join the alif with the sod. So fa'asad, and then the sod is joined to the dal. All right, and then the dal goes to the qaf. So fa'asaddaqa. Now that's the interesting part. In fact, if we have a little time, I'll pull it up on a Word document and show you how that looks as well. All right, let me see if I can copy that word. Let me see. Fa'asaddaqa. Look at number 22 by the time. Let me see if I can quickly do that without taking too much time for practice. Now, look at it here. This is broken up, right? Into different broken up, right? Fa, sa. Alright, now what happens here? You're supposed to have another sword. This is my sword. Sword, okay. Sword. And then another dal. Right, so that's how it actually is in reality. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. For those who came in late, well, they're late, so we can't catch up, but we will. Okay, so if you take all the space here and put them all in together, right? This is how it would look. Now the fa have the fur sound, fa, then then us. Then you put the sword there, the sukoon, us. Then the sword again have another fatha, and then the sad comes up with a sukoon there, and then the, and then ka. Right? So I just breaking it up a bit for you all, so it becomes a lot more easier to know how you're pronouncing it, so you're clear about that. So for us, yeah, so all right, let's go at it. For, and then you don't stretch them, right? For us, sod, the ko. So you notice why now you would have a lot of joining taking place. All right, so let's go back to our sheet now. فَأَصَّدَّقَ. Say it together. Next one. Al-Muddathir. Al-Muddathiru. Number 22. Al-Muddathiru. Okay, next one. Now look at this. This is long fatha and long kasra. Long fatha and long kasra means that you lengthen it. We did that last week. Yeah. So Rab ba ni yina. So Rabbaniyina. Alright, so it's a nice tongue twister for you all. Rabbaniyina. Yina. Alright, next one. Yadhar. Yadharrauna. Yadharrauna. Yadhakkaruna. Yadhakkaruna. Next one. Tamas su hunna. Tamassu, and this one is a length, and then tamassuhunna. Wasarrihuhunna. Wasarri, so this is the shadda. Wasarrihuhunna. Wasarrihuhunna. Fa'iddatuhunna. Fa'iddatuhunna. La tunabbi'unna. I'll leave the last one for you all. La tunabbi'unna. Alright, let's go bigger for this one because I want to leave that. Let's call someone up. Who's ready for this one? Unmute yourself. There'll be others, don't worry. We'll call you up today. Today's the calling up day. We're coming close to the end of this, the main parts of this course, yeah? So now is
Okay. Dia kalimat is
gone.
to. Tola. Talok. Tumu. Hunan. Right. Talok. Tumu. Talok. Tumu.
All right, but I want the tall part, right? The tall part have to be emphasized a bit, right? Talak.
Talok. Talok. Tumu. Hunan. Talok. Hunan.
Right? So okay, very good. So talak. All right. All right, that's good. That's good. We hear you all. Very good. All right. So talaktumuhunna. Let's put this back onto read mode. Okay. Let's see what other examples we have here. Okay. Well, actually, that's the end of that. Those examples. Let's go to the Quran part. Let's find some of these things. Now, where we are at in Quran now, we will be able to get many examples for you all, and inshallah, all of the things that you see here, you will know the rules. The only last thing that we have next week is mud, and that means emphasizing a long vowel that is already long. So that's not something majorly new. It's something going to be easy to grasp next week. It's all about practice now. So we're kind of coming close to the end of the course, as I said just now, and it's about you to practice, and that's where we want you to be at. Practice, practice, practice. So if it means that you all, we have 17 here online, and we have 4 5 here as well. If it means that the rest of the sessions, we continue having sessions for you all to practice now, then we would probably need to do that. But the sessions are coming close to the end for the learning part. Now is the practice part. And I mean, you were supposed to be doing that. I'm sure some of you were doing it, inshallah, diligently, but some of you all, if you weren't doing it, you have to be practicing. Otherwise, it's, really hard, because the art of recognition, it's the art of reading. And as we all know, in schools, for example, you have to teach the children to read. You can't just tell them how to read and leave them at it without reading. They have to actually practice. They have to actually take up books. You have to get them to read from different chapters, different books, different grades, for example, levels that they will be reading, and so on, different types of words, vocabulary. You have spelling, you have everything. So inshallah, the similarity in this Arabic language is the same. It's a language. Okay, so let's go to this verse here. In fact, let's start. Okay, this is a good one. This is something that you all know. If you don't recognize it right now, I'm pretty sure many of you all know it. But let's start it from right now, where it is here. So let's call someone up. Nerissa, you want to go at it?
ومن طريق ومن طريق لنا.
So before I continue, because we're on the Quran, right? I'm gonna give you a new rule. It's not really in your course, but something good to learn. If you notice here, when you see a Shaddah and then you see a next Shaddah here, then you really be joining directly from one Shaddah to the other Shaddah, and making it joint. So Sharri, so the raw goes straight to the noon, and the middle one becomes silent letters. That's why there's no vowels on them. So you want to try it with that, joining from the raw to the noon?
Yes. ومن طريق
Yeah. Fil uqad. So again, just because it's come up and we're reading Quran now, and all of you are, inshallah, mashallah, you're reading Quran too. When we have silent letters, a lot of times the silent letters don't have any vowels on them, so you can sometimes ignore them. But probably, inshallah, when we're doing practice sessions, we will go at into more rules of it. Let's read this one here. Let's call brother Irfan. Actually, let me sorry. I mean, you get prepared, but let's go to this verse here.
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل.
Okay, very good. So that's what we want, right? We want to get people who are reading right away. Mashallah. Let's go to I'm gonna keep. You know, one of the nice things to do for yourself, to practice your fluency. One thing you should do is take a chapter and keep reading it over and over and over, right? Because that will help you with fluency and it'll help you with recognition a little bit. And to do that, it gives you one benefit. The second thing to do is take it from places that you don't know too, right? And then you'll kind of gear where you're at. Because if you're taking, a few minutes more on every single line for reading, that means that your reading capacity still has a lot more effort to put in. So just remember that, sometimes what we do when we have students coming in, right, we would take them we just open the middle of the Quran and tell them read from there. Because yes, if you give them the beginning or the end to read, a lot of times they had a lot of practice reading it. But when you tell them read in the middle, then they like stomp because it's hard for them to read at that time. All right, I'm trying not to give you anything with any rules that we probably didn't cover yet, which are simple rules, but inshallah. Okay, so Pavi, you want to give it a try here? This line here. And again, this is Quran now, right? I mean, don't be intimidated. I want you to get accustomed to it. Look at it, see it. You can see the letters now. You can see the vowels now. Now you can feel confident that you will be able to read it. It's just a matter of practice now. It's just a matter of trying it out. So Pavi, you want to go for it? If you want to pass, you have to say you're passing, Okay, whilst waiting on her, let's try someone else. Sharon.
I'll pass for now.
You're passing. Okay, let's try someone else. Chris. What about Salima?
I'll pass for now.
Okay, Salim. Don't be intimidated. You try it. Even if you struggle, we're here to help you. Part of your remember. Okay, Javid. One of the things to do is practicing it would help you. And the second thing is, remember, I said to you all, two types of students don't learn: the shy one, and a lot of times this is where we are at. Alhamdulillah, is not the other one, which is the arrogant one. So the shy one always shies out, but keep trying. That's the way you'll get it, inshallah. Okay, so who's gonna go then? Islam. Very good. So that's how it is. فَصَبَّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Say it with me. فَصَبَّ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّكَ صَوْتَ عَذَابٍ. Okay, let's do the other one. Inna rabbaka labil mirsad. Alright, so inna rabbaka labil mirsad. So, when you start reading it, you want to get that fluency, right? So it says here, Inna rabbaka labil mirsad. Verily, your Rabb, your Lord. Rabb is your Lord. Yeah, labil mirsad is certainly in how you would say, if something like is being monitored, so someone is always looking at you and ready to like for example, a security is always looking out to see what's gonna happen, what's not gonna happen. They're always attentive and always ready to act if they need to act, that kind of thing. So he says, "Inna rabbaka labil mirsad." Verily, your Rabb is always basically tuned in, ready, and awaiting to see what's happening. So Allah is always aware, and He's Khabir. He is all knowing, and so on. Okay, let's find a surah that is, let me just talk about the surah here, right? What surah are we on here? Surah Al-Inshiqaq. One of the things I want to show you all whilst we're doing this, right, exercise, because part of the exercise is getting a bit of recognition of the Quran. Now, what happens here is, this is a script of the Quran, and just to note how much people we have here now. We have 16, and we have so 20 people. We have Qurans for everybody, right? Whenever you're ready for your Quran, just tell me. We have big script Qurans for you to practice, the actual Quran itself, and for you to take and start practicing it. And it's there for you, inshallah. It's in the office. If you want to start collecting it now, you can do so. Normally, sometimes we give it in the end. But what better time to learn from it when you're actually learning, right? So you can turn to these pages. What I wanted to show you is, well, this Quran, this script that I have this PDF of, it has the English numbers and so on. So I want to send you a bit of a description of how to read these numbers as well, so you'll understand what is being said. So this is like the top of a page. It says here the juz. So this is where the actual, you remember the Quran itself is split up into 30 parts. So the top here tells you which part it is. So the 30th part this is. This is the page number of the Quran. This here is the surah number of the Quran, and the surah number and the name. So the 78th surah. Here it tells you how many verses the Quran has. That chapter has. So ayatuha means the amount of verses it has. So that number is what? Anybody knows the numbers a little bit? This is 40 here. 40. So this session we're having a recognition of the Quran. This is actual name of the Quran, the surah now, the verse, the chapter, the chapter. So Surah Naba'i, the Surah An-Naba is the surah's name. Makkiyah means where it was revealed, whether it was revealed in Makkah or Medina. And the Ruku means how many paragraphs there is in that surah. So these surahs are broken down into paragraphs as well, so you can take those paragraphs and focus on them. Sometimes when you're reading, stop somewhere, you stop on a paragraph and so on. And then it starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So you'll find that in the beginning of all surahs. And then after that, it actually starts each verse. Now each verse has a number to it, so you know which number verse that you're talking about, which verse number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that kind of thing. So if you do have a surah, a Quran at home, take it, open it, and familiarize yourself with it. Look at it, try to understand what you're seeing, what you're not seeing, what you're understanding, what you're not understanding, and so on. So that's really important to get a recognition of the Quran and what is actually being written in there. So again, we are learning Arabic, so you should get as familiar as possible in it, inshallah. So that's how a page looks. So let's practice here. This number 6 verse. Let's call Irfan.
Alam naj halli arto ihada.
All right, this is the meme here. Yeah, miha.
Mihada.
All right, very good. Can we get let's call her name Khadija or Narissa, Lenise, one of you all to volunteer. Pavi, anybody else?
وقولناكم
Mm-hmm.
وقولناكم أز- أزواجا.
Okay, very good. So if you were practicing or if you had some previous lessons going, this is where we should be at, where you could be able to read it. Mightn't be as fluent as yet, but this is how you would be able to. You should have been able to read. If not, practice. Trust me, just practice. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that um, there are that الذين يقرؤون القرآن, the person who recites Quran, right, and he focuses on it, he is ma'al kiram al barara, he is amongst the elite group. Kiram al barara means, honorable group of people. So a person who reads the Quran and he benefits from it, he can read it, he can, he can focus on the meaning, he can look at the reciting, he can internalize the essence of the spirituality from the Quran, because the Quran gives you a very strong level of spirituality, and it's one of the multivitamins of building your immune system, your spirituality, your resistance to evil. There's so many benefits. I'm not going to talk about that right now. The point I'm making is that person who recites the Quran, he will be amongst the elite group of honorable people and honorable creatures and creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same hadith, it says, وَالَّذِينَ يَتَطَعْتَعُ, the person who struggles in reciting the Quran now. So here the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying those people who recite the Quran, they are with an honorable group. But he says that those people who are struggling to read the Quran, they will get lahum ajran. They will get two rewards. You'll get double rewards, not just reciting and trying to recite, but the effort that they're putting out to recite and making it perfect to get to that level of, honorable group of reciters. So I want you all to be encouraged that you have to put in the effort. Inshallah, we're coming up to the month of Ramadan, and this is the best time to do that, inshallah. So in the month of Ramadan, you would be able to recite. So any questions by the time as we ending?
I okay, the color code will apply to the Shaddah.
Say that over.
Does the color code will apply to the Shaddah? And
So the color coded rules are a bit different, and that's when we go to the tajweed section of it, which is like reciting and emphasizing on some verbal aspects that makes the sound enhanced. And that's part of the Arabic language as well. The color coded Qurans like this one that we have up here, and in fact I could send you this on PDF. I don't know if it'll be able to be sent in WhatsApp, but I can definitely try. I can send it to email as well.
Yes, I would like that, please.
All right, so I'll do that. And these help emphasize certain rules that would be a little bit more into when we go into the reading mastery then. So that, for example, right now, what we would have learned, I'll give you a little insight of how that works. So Sod Meme is Sum Mun, right? Sum Mun, Buk Mun, Yun, Fahum La Yarji'un. So let's say that together. Summun, Bukmun, Yun, Fahum La Yarji'un. Now, when you apply these rules of reciting and the rules of tajweed, it sounds a little bit more different. It's like Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. So here there's a bit of nasal sound happening here. Now, not every place has a nasal sound. Depends on which letter allows or has that rule. For some of them don't have the rule, so you have to not have nasal sound. So it's like this Quran helps you in kind of recognizing it, so ensures that you pronounce it accordingly. So inshallah, we'll have a course for that as well. So once all of you, my dear students, stay with us, we will definitely have it. So if you're up to that, we can go to that level next, inshallah. So summun, bukmun. Here's like it kind of amalgamates with the meme and the ba. So summun bukmun. So it actually, you see a small meme there that actually now appears and takes away the ba sound as you normally join. So summum, it actually joins and it takes out the shadda. And please don't get confused. This is for next sessions, inshallah, right? Showing you how it works. Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. So if you look at it here as well, in this one, so let's try. أو كصيب من السماء. Here's the mud, and if you want to get inside, this is what we're gonna do next week. This is a long stretch. Normally we said a mud is one vowel longer, so it's sama-i. So sama-i, this is meme, this is alif, and after it is a alif here. So sama-i. Now, when it has this, it's an extra stretch that goes on. It's called a mud. So if you want to look forward, you can look at that for next week. So let's go again. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. So here it says ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Alright, the qaf, the red means qalqala, so it has a kind of echoing sound. وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. So these are all obviously verses of the Quran. This is Surah Baqarah. This is verse 19. So actually 1 and 9 is easy to read. So you can look it up. It has Summun Bukmun Umyun Fahum La Yarji'un. Summun means deaf, dumb, and blind. So Summun Bukmun Umyun Fahum, and they La Yarji'un, they will not return. So some people, they get even though they're hearing what you're saying, I mean, you've experienced this yourselves. You're hearing, you're telling someone, this is the way, this is correct. You're doing it in the wrong way. They can't hear you. They can't see the correct thing, and they can't understand. Whatever you do, they're not going to see it, they're not going to hear it, so they become like closed. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seals people's heart because of their negligence, because of their evil and all these things, so they cannot see the light until Allah opens back up their hearts. And that is possible in both ways. And it says كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتُ وَرَعْدُ وَبَرْقٍ. Just like a storm, basically, مِّنَ السَّمَاء, from the heavens, فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتُ وَرَعْدُ وَبَرْقٍ. Just like the darkness of the night. And that's the beauty of the Quran. It gives a lot of parables and kind of explains different things. Fihi dhulumat, there's darkness. Imagine a stormy night. It's really, really dark. Wara'd wa barak, and there's lightning and thunder. So you can barely see, it's a place that you don't even want to be. You can't see, you can't hear, it's just loud, it's light, it's blinding, and so on. يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ. What they do is they put their hands into their ears, فِي آذَانِهِمْ مِنَ الصَّوَائِقِ, from the sound. حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ, in fear of death. Because a person is frightful and so on. What's going to happen? This place looks really, really dangerous. Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses the disbelievers. So this is like examples of how I mean the Quran. Inshallah, one day you'll be able to read and understand too. You could do a lot of tafakkur and understanding of the Quran by just looking at the meaning. For now, inshallah, we are at the point of learning how to read it, and this is the first step, inshallah. So I hope today's class was beneficial. I want you all to practice as much as possible. So we'll end there as we take in any questions. Anybody have any questions?
Just a question regarding the book that you're using. Is it possible to have some kind of audio file to accompany them so that if you want to practice on your own, you would be able to have something to check it against?
We can we do have, let me just think about this. We do have some audio files that we recorded with our book, but it's not complete to where we at right now. I don't think it is. What I can do though, I can forward you all a very similar book, but we have the hard copy and we have the full audio of that book. It's one of the Suffer publications, Qaida, which is very similar to what we're doing, but that has the hard copy because we don't have the PDF with that one officially. So if you want, you can get that with a full audio copy as well. So the audio is online and you can access it, and you have the full book in audio. So that's the best option I have right now for you.
Okay, and that would help.
Right, so you can contact us and I will post up the actual videos. So maybe because what our Qaida actually does, it takes some of the same words from that one, so it can sometimes mesh, but then you might have different words coming up as well too sometimes, and you might have to find it too, so that becomes a little harder because it wouldn't be in sync with ours and theirs, but we do have the hard copy for it, which would be in sync. Do you? Pen reader. Okay, so there are some pen readers with Qaidas and so on. They are there. It's a little bit more expensive because it's a technology that's used for the Qaida and so on. But I would recommend though that you try it the harder way because like it's for example, right? If I keep reading it for you all, then I practice maybe, but you all will get less practice. The mind needs to go through that process of rewriting to make it natural for you, and that's the only way you'll be able to read. So even with the pen, it just breaks that step down a few more times to help you build a little bit faster or slower actually, but in essence you'll have to learn to read yourself. So I think the faster you can grind yourself to get to that process of fluency, the better it is for you. Yes, you can use the audio to correct yourself to hear if you recited it properly and so on. So that's good.
Yeah, that's really the main purpose of it. That for me, because sometimes you're reading and you're not sure of some things and you would like to just be able to check it to make sure.
Yeah. And the last thing is for everyone, if it is that you're reading a chapter or a place in the book that we all gave you all, and you want to just send me the audio file and you just want to check that, or want to read the whole chapter, just read the chapter, just tell me the page, the chapter, or the exercise you're doing, send it to me. If it's all okay, I'll just say okay. If there's one thing to fix, I'll just say fix it. After that, you can just check it out. So you can feel free to do that as well.
Okay.
All right, so see you guys inshallah next week again, and I hope that this journey continues and you all are inspired as much as you should be, and that you'll continue learning inshallah. Till next week, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.